Hello, you're watching the At the Races Cheltenham Mega Site with our Cheltenham Preview 2011. Mick Fitzgerald is here in the studio with me. The Ryanair Chase is the race we're going to look at now. And it's become more high profile as years have gone by. People used to be rather rude about the Ryanair, but now many horses are targeted for that. It used to be sort of, you know, if they weren't going to be...
yeah. Well, they thought it was almost like a consolation race for horses that didn't stay the Gold...
It's a very valuable consolation race, isn't it?
Didn't stay the Gold Cup trip or weren't good enough to run in the Champion Chase, but that's been proved to be absolute cod's wallop, and now it's a Grade 1 race, and so it should be.
OK, well, let's have a quick glimpse of the betting here. Pokalar of Paul Nicholls. This will be one for the stats freaks, as we'll see a bit later on. 9-2 favourite. Riverside Theater from the Henderson Yard. I suppose you'd be... Anyway, 6-1. Tranquil Sea is 8-1. Kalahari King, go on the Kalahari, 9-1 best price. Alberta's Run, who of course won the race 14-1 last year. Well, maybe you got bigger, did you?
14s.
14, you'd be happy with 14s?
Yeah.
Gold and Silver 12-1, Juvol 16s and 25-1. The others, including Gavain, which we might maybe talking about a little bit later on. But let's talk about Pokalar, who is definitely a Cheltenham horse. I mean, he's won 4, he's been there 10 times, he's won on 4 occasions, he's been placed twice, he's got a very good Cheltenham profile, and is he a worthy favourite though?
I think, like you say, we'll see later on with the stats thing, but because of that, that's why he is favourite. He's a horse who he loves Cheltenham, comes to life around there. The way the races are run suits him as well. So, you know, when you look at a horse like that, he definitely comes into calculations.
He won the, it was called the Vote AP Gold Cup this year, wasn't it? In fact, funny, the form, we don't know whether it's worked out, because the 2 he beat there, the second and third haven't run since. But I mean, that shows. What are the pluses about Pokalar, do you think, apart from liking the track?
That's it. What more do you need, really? He's a horse who likes the trip, likes Cheltenham. He's a good, solid jumper. Ground doesn't really have to be specific for him, so I think he's a worthy favourite. And
he ran in it last year. He was second to Alberta's Run.
He was second, yeah, but comprehensively beaten as well. But Alberta's Run, on the other hand, this year comes into the race. He's a lower price, but he's got a worse profile.
But I mean, the ground, he seems to be a spring horse, Alberta's Run. Likes good ground. He's a dual festival winner because he won the RSA, yeah. So you wouldn't completely...
I wouldn't completely rule him out, but I think as well, you'll see... I'd like to see the vibes coming from the yard stronger about him.
Let's have a look at one of the Irish main raiders, Tranquil Sea, who's round about an 8-1 shot, and we can see Tranquil Sea here winning the John Durkan Memorial Chase at Punchestown. This is back in December. Wins by just under a length from Juvol, with Roberta Goldback back in third.
This horse has got a very good chance. He's another one who fits the stats as well. He's a horse who's a winner at the festival. Did he win he won the Paddy Power?
He won the Paddy Power in 2009.
Decent horse, good form this year. 2 runs, 2 wins, one at Clonmel as well. So, you know, he's got a lot going for him. Trained by a bit of a maestro in Edward O'Grady. He's had a lot of winners at the Cheltenham Festival. And I think, you know, this horse is not out of it.
And who did he beat when he won the Paddy Power? He beat none other than Pokalar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so therefore...
And I think there was £2 between them. And I think he beat him far enough so that you'd have to say that maybe this horse should be a slightly lower price. We
can be quite sort of... And Juvol, who's I mean, he's run well at the Cheltenham Festival before. I think finished 5th behind Catch It in the Triumph Hurdle some years back. But what about Juvol's chances? No, that's another silent one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I go with your silent one there. Now, occasionally horses, we can be quite sort of opinionated. Sometimes you sort of think, oh, not good enough. But a horse that's really come onto my radar, maybe you've always thought he was this sort of grade, Riverside Theater, who's really made a name for himself. He ran a blindingly good race.
It took you a while to work this out then.
Well, no. It has no. He ran a fantastic race in the King George. He chased home Long Run. And then he came here to Ascot, and I thought he was very impressive winning this.
Yeah, he's a very good horse. Make no bones about it. I don't know whether fortunate enough is the word, but I won a bumper on this horse at Kempton. And we thought he was an absolute certainty. And he scraped home. He's a very smart horse, this fella. He's got a lot of ability. And the fact is, a lot of people are going to say, oh, he's much better on a flatter track, he's much better this, much better that. He ran in the Arkle last year. He got comprehensively beaten by Sizing Europe. But if you go back and watch that race again, he got hampered early on. He didn't jump brilliant. Just looked like he got trapped in behind a load of horses. Nothing finished.
See, that was where my opinion was formed. You said that you see him well beaten in that. You think, well, he's not quite good enough.
But it's amazing, and very often I've been so guilty of it in the past, of being lazy and not going through all these races and not going through all these horses.
I know.
And because of it, then you get blinded.
Yeah,
like if you go back and watch that race again at Cheltenham, you'll see why he finished so far back, and you'll see him finishing strongly. And you'll say, well, actually, he deserves another chance. But for me, I'm just not sure Cheltenham plays to his strengths. He's a much better horse when he's fresh, and you wonder to yourself, was that his Gold Cup there at Ascot?
That's rather what you feel, though, is it?
Yeah, possibly, yeah. I think that would be the worry for me. Now,
you're talking about saying if you go and have a look at a race, you can have your preconceived idea suddenly. You changed them. One horse I've changed my mind big time about is Kalahari King, who I'd rather written off. I just thought he was very disappointing. You can see him back here. This is behind Masterminded, of course, at Ascot in the Victor Chandler. But he runs on really strongly to take fourth, and I think he's probably been crying out for this 2 mile 5.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. He's another fringe horse, isn't he? He's a horse who he got narrowly chinned in the Arkle, didn't he? And a lot of people felt that he was very unlucky, which he was. But at the same time, he's a classy horse.
Not
he's
if
just
you're back for Paddy the Plasterer, you wasn't lucky.
He's just taken his time to find his feet. And I think Ferdy Murphy, there's no better man. When he's had a quiet season, which he has this year, he always manages to nick 1 or 2 at the Cheltenham.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But this time last year, a bit earlier, it was in February last year, Kalahari King had his comeback at Doncaster.
Yes, I was there.
Carrying a load of weight in a handicap.
Said he had no chance, Ferdy, as well. And he bolted
up, didn't he?
He did.
But from then on, when he was disappointing. So
I think it's the other way this time, and I agree with you. I know you're sweet on this fella, and I wouldn't put you off.
Good. Usually you just put me down straight away there. But okay, we've got that one. Gold and Silver. I don't know whether this is his number one target. We'll talk about it, especially if you have a bet with no runner, no bet. I mean, does he run as if the Ryanair would suit him?
I think so. He's a horse that's got form over slightly further than 2 miles. He's got form on decent ground, got form on very soft, so he's not ground dependent. We're seeing him here beating Big Zeb, who you're fairly sweet on for the Champion Chase.
Yeah,
Sizing Europe, a horse who won the Arkle back in 3rd. This is red hot form, but the worry is this horse's form seems to be much stronger in Ireland.
Yeah, it does seem to be.
Doesn't travel that well, and apparently last time he went across the water to come to England. He didn't eat since he left home, apparently, so he's not a great traveller.
That's a terrible thing.
It's not ideal.
It's not ideal, no. Are there any other outsiders we should consider? Because I think there is one that you'd like to mention. Go on.
There is. I think, we're looking here at Roberta Goldback and Jay Vole. Roberta Goldback got a lot of place form. A lot of people would be thinking, well,
I love this horse.
This fella's solid. And, you could do a lot worse than to back this fella. He'll give you a good run for your money, especially if it comes up very soft. Jay Vole's got quite a strong line with a few of these, including Tranquil Sea and the like. But, I'd be looking elsewhere.
I've put Roberta Goldback in my tender follow competition for the last 2 years, thinking, he's definitely going to win some Grade 1 race, but he just hasn't. He's a really good horse.
Would you say he's a fringe?
He's fringe, isn't he?
He's fringe.
He is fringe. Kempes, he won the Hennessy. I mean, maybe, was that his Ryanair Gold Cup or his Gold Cup?
Yes, I think it was. I really do think it was. He's a horse he's a very good jumper, and I just think maybe in time this fella, if he gets his act together, he could be a national horse. They were worried about him getting a trip here in the Irish Hennessy. No problems with the trip. Jumped beautifully over the last, and away he goes. Glen Cove Marina 2nd, and John Callback in 3rd.
Yeah, poor old Glen Cove Marina. It was
sad.
It was very sad. But anyway, there he is. That's Kempes winning
David
that.
Casey in the saddle, giving him a very good ride. David Casey,
Well,
Punctioneer.
and he celebrates as if he has won the Gold Cup, actually, doesn't he?
So would I.
Yeah, you would. Were you a celebrator? I know afterwards
Quietly,
you were.
yeah.
Yeah, quietly. Or just very cool, go past. It was just, just another race.
I'm not a Chris Ashton swallow dive.
No. Let's have a look at the price guide again, because have we any others to talk about?
Yes, down there, Golvain.
Why?
25 to 1. Got very good form at Cheltenham. He's a smart horse.
Beaten 21 lengths by Masterminded.
I just think you've got to forgive him that a little bit. I think this horse, since his first run, because it was off the back of a long layoff, Golvain, good winner. I just think you're looking at a bit of value here. I think a few of these horses could, maybe not in red hot form leading up into the race, and you've got to think to yourself, well, nicking a little bit of value.
I mean, the race you're basing your theory, and good luck at 25 to 1, is when he beat for Paddy the Plaster. Yeah.
Yes, I am. I know, okay, I might be very wrong thinking like that, but I'm looking at a bit of value. I'm thinking of a bit of each way here, and that's what I backed him for. So 25 to 1, I think you've got a bit of a squeak.
Okay, key stats. Will they help you? Here are some of the key stats as we unfold them, and you can hear grunts or applause as we go through them. 11 of the 12 horses to finish first or second in the Ryanair had all won at Cheltenham before. Well, I mean, it happens an awful lot in all Cheltenham races. Cheltenham form is very, very important.
Yeah, it's imperative, I'd say, almost.
Okay, next one. 5 of the last 6 winners won or finished placed in either the Paddy Power or the December Gold Cups, when it was the Vote AP Gold Cup this year. Again, more Cheltenham form. Okay, no comment on that one. 2 runners-up in the previous Ryanair have gone one better.
Parkolan
being one of them. Yeah, that was second last year. The last 3 Ryanair winners ran in the King George.
Alberta's run ran in
Imperial Commander, Arvik. Those are the 3. All 3 winners of the Ascot Chase to run in the Ryanair have been beaten. You can add to the Peterborough Chase to that as well. What?
Riverside Theater. Not looking good for him, is it?
No. 5 of the 6 winners started at 6 to 1 or lower, so maybe the 9 to 1 I've nicked Kalahari King.
Ooh, maybe price could come tumbling.
Yeah, I'll just turn the 9 upside down.
Price could come tumbling.
And those are the stats for that. So it sounds like you're going to have take a bit of a flight. I think you're getting carried away on because Alberta's run was your selection and bet last year, and you were very proud of that, 14 to 1. You think you can do it again with the long shot this year?
I'm going for each way money here with Golvain. I've gone each way on him. And Tranquil Sea, I think, represents the best chance of winning the race at value. But I think Golvain, for me, each way is a decent selection.
And you wouldn't laugh my selection, Kalahari King, all the way to the poorhouse, would you?
Just imagine what it would pay if we went for the forecast with those 2.
Well, let's do that.
I think we should.
I think we ought to do that. We'll do that. Anyway, those are our thoughts on the Ryanair Chase.